Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. We got game number 2 of a 3-game series between the Philadelphia Phillies and Atlanta Braves in the post-1961 Apba season. Leading off for the Phillies, playing center field is Dykstra. Batting second, playing second is Utley. Batting third, playing third is Smith. Batting fourth, playing first is Allen. Batting fifth, playing left field is Burrell. Batting sixth, playing right field is Abreu. Batting seventh, doing the catching is Lieberthal. Batting eighth, playing shortstop is Rollins. And on the mound, doing the pitching is Aaron Nola. And for the hometown Atlanta Braves, we got leading off, playing right field, Gar. Batting second, playing second is Call. Batting third, playing third is Jones. Batting fifth, playing right field is Aaron. Batting fifth, playing center field is Acuna. Batting sixth, doing the catching is McCann. Batting seventh, playing first base is McGriff. Batting eighth, playing shortstop is Blauser. And batting ninth, doing the pitching is Tommy Glavine. Let's get down here to the Atlanta here and get this game started. As Philip Reynolds joins us here today. Check out his great channel, folks. And leading off for the Phillies is Lenny Dykstra, batting .091, no homers and no RBIs, going up against Tom Glavine, his first appearance of the season in 1991. He was 20-11 with a 2.55 ERA. And you see Atlanta's upcoming schedule. They got one more game here at home against the Phils. Then they travel on the road to go to Pittsburgh. And after a 3-game series with the Pirates, they go to Philadelphia to take on these Phillies. And here's the pitch to Hunter. And that's going to be a base on balls. Don't want to do that. Tom Glavine walks Dykstra. He's down at first with a leadoff walk. And here's Chase Utley, batting .143 with no homers and no RBIs. And they're going to do a little hit and run here with Utley. And we drop a bunch of dice to start this game off with. Now it's an official game. Put it in the books. And let's see. It's going to be a 9. Against the lefty. A 19 or a 9. And that's going to be a single through short, and the hit and run works to perfection. Now there's runners at first and third, and nobody out. And early in the game, the Braves will play the defense back, and now you got Michael Jack Smith up with still nobody out. Tommy Glavine having a rough first inning here. And Mike's batting .273, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. And 35-1. 35-1 is fielding column 3. A 53, and Dykstra's going to tag up and score easily on that. So the Phillies take a 1-0 lead here on the sacrifice fly by Mike Smith. And it brings up Dick Allen now with a runner on first and 1 out. And the Phillies with a run on the board. And Dick Allen's batting .500 on the year, folks. No homers and no RBI. And that's exactly what the Braves needed. A tailor-made double play. Hit down the second. For calls up with it. Flyers over the Blauser over to the Crime Dog. 4-6-3 double play. Tommy Glavine's best friend gets him out of the inning with only 1 run scoring. You go to the bottom of the first. Phillies 1. The Braves coming to bat with Gar, Call, and Jones. And Gar's batting .333. No homers and 1 RBI. And this is Aaron Nola's first appearance of the year in 2018. He was 17-6 with a 2.37 ERA. And here's to pitch the round. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. And Aaron starts the game off with a strikeout, 1 down here for the Braves. And Rafael Call comes to the plate, batting .200, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. Abreu makes the catch. And there's quickly 2 down here in the bottom of the first. Here comes Chipper Jones now batting $125, no homers and an RBI. And we're just dropping dice left and right here today. Yes, we are. And that's going to be a rare play, a 39 and a 33. 39 and a 33. And that's going to be hit out to right field. Abreu's out there. And that's going to be a fine catch by him. And it's 1, 2, 3 for the Braves. We go to the top of the second. It's 1-0 Phillies. You got Burrell, Abreu, and Lieberthal due up here against Glavine. See if he can settle down after that top of the first. And Burrell is looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 2. And not going to happen here because that's a fly ball out to Aaron for out number 1. And Dave Lando joins us. Exactly, Dave, buddy. Yeah, doing good. Just working. Yeah, just working, buddy. And Old Crow Cornhole joins us here. Yeah, they should have won 1 more World Series. Just couldn't hit in the darn playoffs. Could not hit. Their offense would go in the playoffs. It was terrible. And Bobby Abreu comes up. And in 1999, he batted .335 with 20 homers and 93 RBIs. And he gets a hit. He squares this one up against Glavine. Glavine's having a rough start to this game. That's going to be a double in the right field, so a 1-out double. Philly's got another runner in scoring position here, already up 1-0. And Mike Lieberthal's up now. And Lieberthal in 1999 batted .300 with 31 homers and 96 RBIs. He got a runner down at second and 1 out. And that's going to be a big strikeout by Glavine, his first of the game. Now there's 2 down and a runner still at second for Jimmy Rollins. And Jimmy's batting .500 on the year, no homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Blouser at short. He fires over the Crime Dog, and that'll do it. So the 1-out double gets stranded. We go to the bottom of the second. And you got the big boys due up, Aaron, Aquino, and McCann. And the hammer, Hank Aaron's batting .250. He's got 2 homers on the year and 4 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. So the tying runs down at first. Brings the go-ahead run up here in Acuna. And he's 0 for 4 on the year. And here's the pitch to Junior here. And that's going to be with a runner down at first. And a right-hander. That'll be at 18, 11. And that's going to be a base hit in the right field. And Aaron, with nobody else, going to stop at second. So now the Braves making some noise here in the bottom of the second. First and second, nobody out for Brian McCann. And McCann's batting .500 on the year with no homers and no RBI. See if he can tie this ball game up with Aaron down there at second. Here's the pitch line. And that's going to be against a righty. 16 1 and 8. Yep. And that's going to be a pop up down the short, infield fly roll in effect. That'll be out number 1. And now there's 1 down for the Crime Dog, Fred McGriff, as MV joins us here. Check out MV's channel, folks. And the Crime Dog's batting .500. no homers and one RBI. Can you add to that RBI total here? And nope, that's a swing and a miss. A big strikeout by Aaron. Now there's 2 outs after leaving the first 2 batters on. They're still at first and second. And Jeff Blauser come through batting a .182, but he does have a homer and 3 RBIs on the year. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. Jeff Blauser starting to heat up here. That'll be against the righty a 20. And that'll be a home run. Kiss it goodbye. Jeff Blauser turns on this one. Pat turns around, watches this one, leave the yard, the launching pad, and just like that, the Braves have got a 3-1 lead as Jeff Blauser with his 2nd homer of the year, folks, turning into a power hitter. And that brings up Tommy Glavine. And Glavine in 1991 batted .230, no slouch at the plate, no homers and 6 RBIs. Let's see if he can help his own cause here. And nope, that's going to be a swing and a miss. So Aaron comes back after the homer, strikes out Glavine, but the Braves take a 3-1 lead. We go to the top of the 3rd. And Aaron will be due up, followed by Dykstra and Utley. And you see the Phillies' upcoming schedule. They got one more game here in Atlanta. Then they go home to take on the Marlins. And then the Braves come to town after 2 games against Florida. And in 2018, Aaron batted .048, no homers and 4 RBIs. Yeah, I know. How about old Jeff Blauser? 2 homers in the first 5 games of the year. First 4 games of the year. Pretty damn impressive. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Tommy strikes out Aaron for out number 1. We're back to the top of the order, and Lenny Dykstra walked and came around to score in the first for the only run of the game for the Phillies right now. That's going to be a ground ball down the second. Over to the Crime Dog for out number 2 rather. And Chase Utley comes to the plate, and he singled back in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Jeff. And the Phillies go down quietly, 1, 2, 3. To the bottom of the 3rd we go. We got the top of the order due up here for the Braves. Gar, Porcal, and Jones. And Ralph struck out his first time up. And that's going to be against the righty. 15. That's going to be a base hit. Ralph with an infield hit. Gets a board here for the Braves. And Raphael is 0 for 1. He flew out the right back in the first. And let's see here. It's Garn. He's going to stay put for right now. Ralph's going to stay put. Matter of fact, we're going to do a little hit and run with Raphael. That's what we're going to do. And a 27 on a hit and run. 61 and a 5. Hit down the mic. Down at 3rd. And what is it? 61. That'll be fielding column 2. And that'll get the runner down the second. Mike's only plays over the Dick Allen at first. So they stay out of the double play. That puts a runner in scoring position here for Dick Allen. And, for Jones. Chipper flew out the right his first time up. And that's going to be a base on balls. So Chipper gets a walk. And again, the Braves have got first and second. And here comes the big boys up now. Hammer and Hank Aaron. He walked and came around to score in the second. And he bust one open here. Give the Braves a nice lead. And no, that's going to be a infield. Let's see what their infield is. 5. You got 10, 15, 24, 27, 35. I think it's fielding column 2. I think you got to be a 36 to be fielding column 1. I believe memory serves me correctly. Nope, 35 gets it done. They're fielding column 1. And that's going to be a line drive down the first. He's going to step on the bag, Dick Allen is, and he's going to double up Chipper Jones, and that's going to end the inning, folks. So a line drive double play, and that is it. Bases loaded, and the Phillies get out of it. How about that? Hank Aaron lines into the double play ball. Nice play by Dick Allen down there at first. Now you got Smith, Burrow, and Abreu due up here. Smith, Allen, and Burrow. So, Dick will get up here, see what Mike can do. Mike had a sacrifice fly back in the first. Here's the pitch to Michael Jack Smith. And that's going to be well hit. Mike squares this one up against Glavine. And that ball is driven down the third. Nice play by Blauser. Knocks it down, but he won't have a play at first. So Mike's aboard here with a single. That was going down the line there. Nice play by Blauser. Now we got Dick Allen, who just made that nice play out in the field. He grounded into a 4-6-3 double play his last time up back in the first. See if Tommy can induce him to do that again. And that's going to be a fly ball out the center. Acuna makes the play for out number 1. And Pat Burrell comes up. And Pat flew out to right field back in the second. And that's going to be a base on balls. Tommy doesn't have the Z, so that's a base on balls. So the Phillies now with a go-ahead run coming to the plate. First and second and only 1 out. And Bobby Abreu comes to the plate, and he doubled back in the second. Here's the pitch to Bobby. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. The Phillies now are starting to get the Glavine here in the fourth. And that ball is blasted out in the right field. And that's going to be a 3-bagger. Bobby Abreu is heading to third. And that Brandon Handsome man is safe. And it's a tie ball game, folks. Now you got a runner down at third. And still only 1 out. And the Braves are going to play the infield in with the go-ahead run down there at third. And Mike Lieberthal's up. He did strike out back in the second. Glavine would like to see another one of those here in this situation. And instead, he walks him. So Mike goes down the first. And does the Braves pull the infield back and go for the double play ball. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to get a double play and get out of this inning. Jimmy's 0 for 1. He's grounded out to short. And that's going to be a big swing and a miss. Glavine gets a big strikeout there. Now there's 2 outs, and Aaron's up. And he struck out his first time back in the third against Glavine. And that's going to be a base on balls. Tommy Glavine all of a sudden is losing control here. And that is his 4th walk, his 3rd walk of this inning. The bases are loaded. No good happens when you walk the stinking pitcher. And Lenny Dykstra's up now. And he has walked in the first, came around the score and grounded out. He's 0 for 1. And that's going to be another base on balls. Tommy Glavine has walked in the go-ahead run, folks. They go out and talk to him, tell him just throw the ball over the goddamn plate. And that'll bring up Chase Utley. He's 1 for 2. He's singled back in the first. And that'll finally end the inning. That's a fly ball out to Aaron. But the Phillies come back and put a 3 spot on the board and lead this game 4-3. We got Acuna due up, McCann and McGriff. Just remember that double play line drive. That could have cost the Braves the game. Dick Allen might have saved the game for the Phillies here. And Acuna, he singled and came around the score back in the second. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Dick Allen. A lot easier play this time. He steps on the bag himself for out number 1. And Brian McCann comes to the plate. And back in the second, he popped up. He's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a base on balls. Maybe it's not the pitchers. Maybe it's that stinking umpire squeezing the plate here on these guys. That's the third walk by NOLA. And now you got a runner down at first for the crime dog. And he struck out in the second. And that's going to be a pop up down the short. Jimmy Rollins makes the play for out number 2. So it's up to the man of the hour, Jeff Blauser. He hit the 3-run homer back in the second. Can he do it again and give the Braves a lead again? He's batting .250. He's only got 3 hits on the year, but 2 of them's been homers, and he's got 6 RBIs. And not this time. That's going to be a swing and a miss. He was swinging for the fences. Now Jeff's starting to believe he's a power hitter here, folks. And that'll end the inning. McCann gets stranded at first. We get to the top of the 5th in a 4-3 ball game. You got the big boys due up here for the Phillies. Smith, Allen, and Burrell. Mike has 1 for 1. He has an RBI. He had a sacrifice flying to first, singled in the 4th. And that's going to be against the lefty. 14. That's going to be a fly ball out the left field. Gar makes the catch for out number 1. Brings up Dick Allen now. And he's 0 for 2. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Glavine strikes Allen out for out number 2. He seems like he settled down here after that rough 4th inning. And Pat Burr comes up. He's 0 for 1. He walked back in the 4th and came around the 4th. Seemed like everybody walked in the 4th. And that's back-to-back strikeouts. Glavine with a 1-2-3 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Braves trailing by 1. Glavine to the plate here. And like I say, Glavine's no slouch. He did strike out back in the 2nd, though. And that's going to be a base on balls. And again, it might not be these pitchers. This home plate umpire might be tough. Now, again, you walk the pitcher. Nothing good ever happens. Nothing good happened when he walked Aaron. So here's Ralph now. He's 1 for 2. He singled back in the 3rd. And that's not what the Braves is looking for. That's an easy ground ball down the 2nd. Chase Utley's up with it. And that's a tailor-made double play. He fires over the Rowan, over to Allen, 4-6-3 double play. Now there's 2 outs and nobody on for Raphael. And he's 0 for 2 today. Flown out and grounded out. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. And after the leadoff walk, Aaron gets out of it. And it's still a 4-3 ball game as we go to the top of the 6th. You've got Abreu, Lieberthal, and Rollins due up. Bobby's having a hell of a game. He's doubled and tripled and drove in 2 runs. Here's the pitch to Bobby. And that's going to be a base on balls. They have yet to get him out. So Abreu walks on down to first. And again, that is the 6th walk given up by Glavine. Now brings up Mike Lieberthal, and he's struck out and walked. He has yet to put the ball in play. See if Tommy can get him to ground the ball down in the infield and get a double play ball. Nope, that's going to be a fly ball out to Acuna, but that will be out number 1. That brings up Jimmy Rollins now. And Jimmy is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. And that's going to be a pop up down the 3rd. Chipper's got it for out number 2. And that brings up Aaron now. And Aaron is 0 for 1 today. He has struck out and walked. He's yet to put the ball in play. And now he does. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes out Aaron. So he doesn't put the ball in play. I was wrong. And that'll be the end of the inning. So Abreu gets stranded at first. To the bottom of the 6th we go. You got the big boys coming up for the Braves. Jones, Aaron, and Acuna. Chipper's 0 for 1. He walked back in the 3rd. And that's going to be against Righty at 18, and that's going to be a nice play by Jimmy Rollins down at third. Just robbed Chipper of a base hit. Dives, makes the throw over to first to Allen, and that's out number one. Here comes Aaron. Hank Aaron's 0 for 1. He walked back in the second, came around to score, and then he hit that line drive double play down to Dick Allen with bases loaded to end the third inning. Here's the pitch to Aaron. And that's just going to be a weak grounder down to Rollins. He fires over to Allen for out number 2. And it's up to Junior here. Kenya, he's 1 for 2. He singled in the second, came around to score. And that's going to be a ground ball out in front of the plate. And that's going to be an error on Lieberthal. He can't handle the Baltimore chop. That's going to be an E2. And that keeps the inning alive. Let's see if the Braves can take advantage of it with Brian McCann coming to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He walked back in the fourth. Can he do something here with Aquino? Let's see if he's going to try. He's going to try to get in scoring position. That'll be a 29. So a 55 or lower, he makes it down to second. And he's down at second. He's down at second with a stolen base. Now let's see what McCann can do with a runner down at second here. And that's going to be a fly ball out to deep center field. Dykstra back near the wall, makes the catch. McCann gave it a chase, but comes up short. And that's it for the sixth inning. We go to the top of the seventh. The Phillies hanging on to a 1-run lead here. We got the top of the order due up here against Glavine. Dykstra, Utley, and Smith. Lenny is 0 for 1, but he's walked twice. Actually drove in a run on his last walk in the fourth. Came around the score back in the first. Here's the pitch to Chase. And he gets a hold of this one. Rather, Dykstra gets a hold of it in that case. And that's going to be a double in the right field. So a leadoff double by Lenny nails Dykstra. Another runner in scoring position. Phillies would like to add an insurance run here in the seventh at least. So now nobody out and a runner at second. Utley's 1 for 3. Excuse me, he singled back in the first. And that's going to be a 2-4. I'm sure that's fielding column 3. Yep, that's fielding column 3. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And that's going to get the runner down the third. And he plays over to first, and he doesn't look the runner back. So now you got the runner at third. That's going to force the Braves to bring the infield in. And you got Michael Jack Smith, who is 1 for 2. He's got a sacrifice fly in the first and a single in the fourth. Here's the pitch to Mike. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Glavine with another big strikeout. He's got 7 strikeouts to go with those 6 walks. And now they can play the infield back with Dick Allen up. Allen's 0 for 3 today. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. And Chipper down there at third. And that's going to be a let's see here. With 2 outs. Safe at second on a wild throw. Runners. Obviously the runners going to throw to first. So that's going to be a 2-base error on Chipper Jones, an E5. And the batter's going to get down the second. And the Phillies add to the lead with an unearned run. So now Dick Allen down there in scoring position in a 5-3 ball game. And Pat's up. He's 0 for 2. And then just like everybody else, he's probably walked and struck out. And he has. He's walked in the fourth and struck out. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the down to first. McGriff's up with it, tosses it over to Glavine, but another run comes in. We get to the 7th inning stretch. It's 5-3 Phillies. Man, the Phillies are looking for their first win of the year. You can see the team comparisons. The Phillies are 0 for 3 with 31 strikeouts, 13 walks, 2 doubles, 2 triples. The Braves are 2-1, 29 strikeouts, 14 walks, 4 doubles, and 1 triple. And you got the Crime Dog, followed by Blauser and a pinch hitter for Glavine. And the Crime Dog's 0 for 2 today. And he's going to be 0 for 3. That's popped up down the short for out number 1. And Jeff Blauser comes to the plate now. He's got the 3-run homer, only 3 runs of the ball game back in the 2nd. And that's going to be a base hit. Blauser coming on fire here in the last few games with a base hit in the right field. Brings the tying run to the plate, and that'll be it for Glavine. He goes 7 innings. Only gave up 5 hits, but the walks, all the walks. Let's hear it. The walks will kill you. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. And I think old Freddie Freeman's going to come off the bench here. No, Darrell Evans is going to come off the bench. See if old Howdy Doody, Darrell Evans, can tie this ball game up, folks. Darrell Evans comes off the bench. And Evans in 1973 batted .281, 41 homers, and 104 RBIs. He's 0 for 1 so far on the season. And he's going to be 0 for 2. And that might be the old round the horn double play here, folks. And that's what it could be, a 43 and a 5. And that's exactly what it is. So that's the old 5-4-3 double play. And that'll end the inning as Dewey doesn't get the homer. And that is it for the Braves here in the 7th. Now we'll see who's going to come out of the bullpen. We got the lefty, a righty, and a switch hitter here coming up. And it's going to be, I think Gene Garber's going to come out of the bullpen. Yep, and I love old Gene Garber. Anybody knows me knows I love those sidearmed submarine pitchers. So Gene Garber's going to come out of the bullpen, try to keep us a 2-run lead. And this is Gene's 2nd appearance of the year. He's given up no runs here. So he's got Abreu, Lieberthal, and Jimmy Rollins. And Bobby's 2 for 2 today, folks. He's got a double and a triple and a walk in the 6th. And he finally, nope, that's going to be a base on balls. Gene walks himself. Bobby stays perfect here today. And that puts the insurance run down at first and nobody out for Mike Lieberthal. Mike's 0 for 2. He has struck out, walked, and flown out. And that's going to be a 36. That's going to be a rare play. A 63 and a 36. That's going to be a, let's see, and that's not going to be a balk. So it's going to be a, So it's going to be 3 balls and 2 strikes. And all of that to get a 3-2 count on Lieberthal. So here's the 3-2 count, full count. Ken Garber, get him out. And yes, he can. He strikes Mike out. So there's 1 out. Here in the top of the 8th. Jimmy Rollins is up now. Jimmy's 0 for 3. He is grounded out, struck out, and popped up. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. 25 and a 2. And that's going to spin around. Gene is fired down the blouser. And he'll get the lead runner now. There's 2 outs with Jimmy Rollins down at first. And I think that's going to be it for Aaron. I'm going to pitch it for him here in the 8th. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. And Ryan Howard's going to come off the bench. Try to add to this lead here. So where's old Ryan Howard at? And Howard on the season is batting 100. No homers and no RBIs. Here's the pitch to Howard. And he gets a hold of this one off of Gino. And that's going to be a 18. And that ball is out of here. Kiss it goodbye. Ryan Howard has just busted this game open for the Phillies with a pitch hit homer. And Gene Garber shaking his head. It is now a 7-3 ball game. Howard launches one into the night here in Atlanta. And that brings up Lenny Dykstra now. And Dykstra's 1 for 2. He's walked twice and doubled and drove in 1 run. And he squares it up. And all of a sudden, with 2 outs, Gene's having trouble here, folks. And that ball is driven into the gap. And Dykstra with a 2-out double in the right field, folks. And that'll get the bullpen up for the Braves. They're down by 4 now with Chase Utley. And Utley's 1 for 4. He singled back in the first. And that's going to be against the righty, a 16. And that's going to be a single in the right field. 5. And that's going to be a 46. 2 outs, that's going to be a 56. And that's probably going to add to this lead, folks. Here's with Dykstra's speed. He'll probably score with no throw, and he does. That's going to be an RBI single in the right field. And it is now a 5-run game, and Gene's throwing fuel to the fire. And now you got Jack Smith up with a runner on first, and still 2 outs. Remember, all these runs have scored with 2 outs. Smith's 1 for 3 with an RBI. Sacrifice fly back in the first. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Ralph. That'll end the inning, but the Phillies add 3 more and take an 8-3 lead into the bottom of the 8th. Let's see who's going to come out here and pitch now that they got a big lead. You got, let's see here. McGraw is going to come out, even though it's a 5-run lead. You got a bunch of lefties coming up. You got the lefty and 2 switch hitters. Let's see here. Yeah. So McGraw, Tim is going to make us, I think this is his first appearance of the season. He has yet to pitch. So they're going to get him some work here, even though it's not a save opportunity. And this is McGraw's first appearance of the year in 1980. He was 5-4 with 20 saves and a 1.46 ERA. Let's see here. And they're going to pitch it for Ralph. And Rico's going to come in the game here. So they're going to try to get back in this game. They got to score some runs here. Got to score some runs here in this inning. You can't go into that ninth inning trailing by 5. So Rico comes in the game batting 167. No homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. So Tim walks the first batter he faces. Not what you want with a 5-run lead if you're a Phillies fan. And Ozzy is going to come in the game and pitch it for call. So the Braves are making all kinds of moves here. He'll stay in and play second base. Like I say, Rico will stay in and play out there in left field. So like I say, the Braves are making all kinds of moves here against McGraw. Trying to get some runs here. Runner down at first, nobody out. And Ozzy is looking for his first hit of the year. He's 0 for 6. And he gets it, folks. And that ball is blasted. And that's going to be a 13. And kiss it goodbye. That ball is out of here. Ozzy blast one into left field. And that's going to make this a 3-run ball game. And the Braves are trying to get right back into it. And Tim McGraw is yet to get an out here, folks. So it is now 8-5. Nobody out. And Chipper Jones comes to the plate. So he'll have to face Jones, Aaron, and Acuna now. The big boys are coming up. Chipper's 0 for 2. He did walk back in the 3rd. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. So McGraw bounces back after the homer, strikes out Chipper for out number 1. Here comes Hank Aaron up. He's 0 for 2. He did walk in the 2nd and come around to score. And that's going to be a rare play. 51 and a 41. 51 and a 41. That's going to be a strike. 1 strike on him. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Let's see what happens here with Hank. 0-1 to him. And he drills this one, folks. And Tim McGraw is struggling here in the 8th. As Hank Aaron blasts one into orbit here against the lefty. 22, and that's a home run. Kiss it goodbye. Hank Aaron comes alive here. And all of a sudden now, folks, it's a 2-run ball game as the Braves put a 3 spot and only 1 out. And that's going to get the bullpen up for these Phillies. And Brandon Lidge is getting up. So Tim McGraw comes in with a 5-run lead and has given up 3 runs here in the 8th. And now he's got Quino up, who's 1 for 3. He singled and came around to score in the 2nd and reached on an error back in the 6th. And that's going to be against the lefty, 23. And that's a base hit, an infield hit. And McGraw can't get a damn soul out here, folks. And that brings the tying run to the plate and Brian McCann. They'll be pitching to McCann here. But this might be Tim's last batter one way or the other. McCann is 0 for 2. He did walk back in the 4th. And we drop another dice. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. Pat makes the catch. Now there's 2 down. And again, the Crime Dog's up. So he'll be left to pitch to the Crime Dog here. Does the Braves want to make a, let's see here. If the Braves make a change, they know that Brandon's going to come in the game. So they're going to stick with the Crime Dog. The Crime Dog's going to stay in here. Runner down at first, 2 outs for the Crime Dog. Can he tie this ball game up, folks? Nope. That is going to be a ground ball down the first. Dick Allen takes it himself, goes to the bag, and that ends the inning. But the Braves score 3. and make this an 8-6 ball game as we go to the top of the ninth. And let's see here, we got to make some moves, and I think we're going to bring in another pitcher here because Gene got lit up. So let's see. Need somebody just for one inning. Bring in Mark. He'll come in and pitch for Gene. Trying to keep this up. Then we'll go here. And let's see. Rico's going to stay in the game and play left field. And Ozzy's going to stay in the game and play second base. Like I say, Mark will come in the game. Trying to keep it a 2-run game. He'll be pitched hit for in the ninth, but that'll be all right. Got Rick Camp out there that can go some innings. So we'll bring Mark in just to pitch 1 inning here. So like I say, Rico stays in the game. He's in left field. Ozzy comes in. He's playing second. And Mark Wohlers comes in for his first appearance of the year. Let's see what year this is for Mark. In 1995, he was 7-3, 25 saves with a 2.08 ERA. And he'll be facing the big boys, Allen, Burrell, and Abreu, here in the top of the ninth with the Phillies leading 8-6. And Dick Allen is 0 for 4, folks. He did reach on an error, though. He gets a base on balls, not what you want to see here. So Mark walks him with a leadoff walk and a 2-run deficit. Here comes Pat up now. Burrell's 0 for 3. And that is going to be a swing and a miss. Mark strikes him out. So nobody's put the ball in play yet. A walk and a strikeout. Bobby Abreu comes to the plate, and he's a perfect 2 for 2, folks. He's walked twice, hit a double and a triple, driven into. So deuce is wild here. 2-2-2-2 everywhere you look. And that's going to be against the righty. 16 and a 8. That's going to be a fly ball. Nope, that's going to be a pop-up down the third. Chipper makes the play. Nope, that's a swing and a miss. I'm sorry, he's got the K. Mark strikes out the next batter, too. So a walk and 2 strikeouts. Then he strike out the side after the walk. Mike Lieberthal's 0 for 3. He is struck out twice. So can Mark give him the hat trick here, folks? And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. Blauser should be a fielding column 1 on that. And he is a 23, 26. Barely a fielding column 3. I was confident, but that's barely a fielding column 3. And that's a nice play down there at short by Blauser. He comes up with it, fires over to first. And the leadoff walk goes nowhere. We go to the bottom of the ninth. It's a 2-run deficit. You got Blauser. Mark, pitch hit for him. And Rico due up here. Are they going to? They're going to let Tug try to get through this inning here. Let's see what happens here. Tug's going to try to pitch. They got Brandon Lidge out there in the bullpen just in case anybody gets on. Jeff's had a great game here. He's 2 for 3 with a 3-run homer. He's homered in the second, singled in the seventh. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And Jimmy Rollins bobbles it. And he's 6. And these Phillies are falling apart here, folks. And that'll be it for Mark. He comes off the bench here. Be the question. Mark comes out of the game. And let's see here. And Dale Murphy's going to come off the bench. And I think that's going to be it for Gene Garber. After the Murph is announced, they're going to bring the righty Brandon in. Try to lock this game down. They're going for their first win. That's going to be it for Tim. They're going to do a double switch here just in case this goes into extra innings. No, they're not. They're going to bring Brandon in and assume he's going to get the job done. So McGraw doesn't get the job done with a 5-run lead. Let's see if Brandon can get the job done with a 2-run lead and a runner down at first. So he'll be facing Dale Murphy with a runner down at first. Where's Brandon at? There he is. Brad comes into the game. I think this is his second appearance. He's 0-1 with a 13.5 ERA, folks. You can see the team replay here. The Phillies are 0 for 3, batting 171 with an on-base percentage of 279, slugging 257, and an OPS of 536. Braves are 2-1, batting 181 with an on-base percentage of 255, a slugging of only 174, folks, and an OPS of just 429. So a runner down at first, and Dale Murphy's up, batting 167. He does have a homer and an RBI. And that's going to be a 40. And that's going to be a wild pitch. Brandon comes in, wild pitch. I'll put the runner in scoring position. Of course, that run means nothing. It's the run at the plate that means something. So now the Murph's got a runner down at second and nobody out. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Dale. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Utley. And a 52 and an 8. That's still going to be fielding column 1. The runner will get down to third. He'll fire over to first. And again, that run down there means nothing. So they're going to keep the defense back. Infield's going to play back. And Rico's up for the second time. He walked in the 8th and came around to score. And that's going to be against the righty. 23 and an 8. And that's going to be a base hit in the center field. And the Braves will cut this to a 1-run ball game, folks. It is now 8-7. And Ozzy's up with a runner down at first. Tying run at first, a go-ahead run at the plate. And Albies is 1 for 1. He hit that 2-run homer back in the 8th, folks. Can he do it again and give the Braves the win? And nope. Against the righty. That's going to be a 25. And that's going to be a pop-up down the third for out number 2. The Braves are down to their last out here, folks. And it's Chipper Jones. Chipper is 0 for 3. He did walk back in the third. Here's the pitch to Jones. And that's going to end the ball game. A fly ball out to Lenny Dykstra. The Phillies hang on to win their first game 8-7. The bullpen didn't make it easy on them. Let's take a look here at the box score here. And the Phillies 8 runs on 8 hits and 2 errors. The Braves 7 runs, 8 hits and 1 error. Look at that top of that lineup for the Phillies. Dykstra and Utley, 2 for 3 and 2 for 5. Then a perfect game almost, folks. Came around to score 3 times, Utley. And you had Ron Howard. How big was that pitch hit home run? Big home run. At the time, it just looked like it was icing on the cake. The Phillies were 3 for 10 with runners on scoring position, left 8 men on base. Only Brave with 2 hits on the game was Acuna. He was 2 for 4. You had Ozzy, Aaron, and Blauser both going, all 3 going deep. Braves were 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position, left 5 men on. Aaron gets the win. He's 1-0, goes 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, walked 4, struck out 5, and gave up the homer. Tim McGraw comes in and gets blasted. 1 inning, 3 hits, 4 runs, only 3 of them earned, walked 1, struck out 1, gave up 2 homers. Brad Lidge comes in, gets his first save of the year, 1 inning, 1 hit. Tommy Glavine didn't have the control today. He goes to 0-1, 7 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, only 4 of them earned. He walked 6, struck out 7. Gene Garber comes in and blows it up. So both bullpens didn't do a very good job. Garber comes in 1 inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, walked 1, struck out 1, and gave up a homer. Mark Wohlers comes in, pitches 1 inning, walks 1, and strikes out 2. So the Braves are now 2-2, and the Phillies finally get their first win. Let's take a look here at the standings. And the Mets are now a game up on the Braves. Marlins are a game and a half back. The Phillies are 2 games back along with the Nationals. And in the Central, Pittsburgh's a half a game up on the Cubs, Reds, and Astros, and a game up on the Brewers and the Cardinals. And out west, the Diamondbacks are a game and a half up on the Dodgers, 2 games up on the Giants and Padres, and the Colorado Rockies are 3 games back. Jeff Kent's leading in the batting average. Hank Aaron and him are now tied with 3 home runs, and him and Jeff Blauser are now tied with 6 RBIs. How about Jeff Blauser leading the National League, or tied for the National League lead with 6 RBIs? Of course, the ERA leaders right now are at 0. And John Rocker's got 2 wins, and now you got Smith and Suter with 2 saves on the year. Jeff Kent still leading in MVP voting, and John Rocker's leading in the Cy Young right now for the National League. Again, I want to thank David Lando, NV, Old Crow Cornhole, and Philip Reynolds for joining us here today. And let's see what the pitching matchup will be for game number 3. Looks like it's going to be Bunning going up against Smoltz. So Jim Bunning going up against John Smoltz in game number 3. Final game of this 3-game series here in Atlanta. So I hope you join us for that. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell so you get reminders of what's going on. And hit that like button. Leave a comment on your way out. Until next time, you all have a great day and take care.